So we're back at the Vector today, and we are going to be stripping the studs out of the 121 track that we talked about so that we can convert this sled to a 136. The 136 track I have, I'm going to use these studs down the center with a 2x2 pattern. So anyways, let's get at it. Morning. So I got all the studs out of the track now. So I'm ready to start pulling this rear suspension and track off so I can get the suspension torn down and get it all powder coated to put it back together with the 136 track on it and extended rails with the Track USA rails. So I got to get those on order, but I'm going to take this suspension and track off, then take the sled up for storage while I take care of all the suspension and get the parts in. So this is the first episode of tearing down the sled for the conversion. So away we go. I know it's pretty common information, but just in case you don't know, first step is to loosen the axle nut, then go in from the end. You can see there's a nut right here. Loosen that nut on both sides, that loosens the track. Pop this one out and do the same thing on the other side, and then this suspension should drop down once we get that down. So while we take this sled apart, this is the reason basically that I'm taking this whole thing down instead of just putting the track thing on and away we go, or the conversion extensions. But the whole suspension is all this gnarly rust scale and corrosion oxidation on the aluminum. So I'm going to get this all back to 100% so it's like brand new. I got some stuff up here I got to fix, and there's like little brackets like that are nasty bolts. See up in here there's a bracket that's nasty. So this is the first step. Got all the studs out, well, except for two that wouldn't come out, but I'll take those out when I get the track off. Now I'm going to drop this rear suspension, and then I'm going to pull the track out. So that's where we're at right now. So away we go. So next I got to take this bolt out right here, and then I'll drop the rear suspension. Now I got to do that one in there. So in order to get that one in there, I'm pulling off the side covers, which I got to do eventually to get the drive axle out. So I've got this one right here, so I got to pull these out along the bottom, pull this cover off so I can get in at this, and then the suspension will be loose. So that's where I'm headed next. Got all the outer bolts off, and I got to take the bolt off right here, holding that on. So that's the gear, takes the gear out. Take the gear. Take the sensor off. Set the sensor back out of the way and can pull this retainer off. Now it's ready to unbolt from the jack shaft in there. There's little set screws. Get that out of there. Okay, so got two 12 millimeter bolts to hold this brake in from that side. Take the brake off, set it up out of the way. Now you got to take the parking brake apart. So now I've got two number 4 Allen to get this brake off the case, and then got to take the snap ring to get the brake rotor out. Working my way through it. All right, when I pull the snap ring, there are two washers in here. One's a bigger than the smaller, and those go on, and then off comes the brake rotor. Okay, so next take this linkage off for the reverse. Comes up to here. take it off there. It goes right in there. And then take it off this post right here and off here, and that'll get it out of the way. But you got to remember how it goes back together. So video reference: arm goes this way, arm goes up, this way, arm goes up, comes over here to here. So okay, so once you take the rotor off, you've got to get the keyway, then a washer, keyway, then a washer. Then this collar has to come off. You got to take in, there's a set screw here. It's like just one set screw. And then pull this collar off so that you can get all the bolts. So I've gone around, taken the bolts off all the way around. I've unbolted the L bracket for the brake. So that's sitting up, that's out of the way. So I'm working my way, there's no drain on this case, so I'm working my way on getting the case loose so I can drain it in. This is a bucket. Okay, so when you take this set screw loose, you can pull this collar out of the seal. So it goes right in there, comes right out of the seal, like that. Okay, now that's going to allow this case to come out. Okay, so I pulled the adjuster out of here, just basically loosen this and it slides off the shaft. And then this reverse gear here, it's got this little spring. See that little spring right there? That spring goes in the pocket, so you got to make sure you don't lose that spring. So it like goes like this and it slides right in there, and that spring is there. So you got to make sure this comes out and the spring stays. That's very, very important not to lose that spring. So then we gotta take this bolt out right here, take this nut off right here, and then that takes the chain and the gears out and allows us to get at that shaft. So working my way down to it. The washer that goes right there is a shaped washer. I don't know if you can see it. It's got a, see it right there, it's got a little ledge on it that goes towards the bearing. This is the drive shaft bearing. So put that in our little thing there. Now we're working our way out of the case so that this can move around, because you got to be able to rock it to get that drive shaft out. So got in there and we pulled out the drive sprocket and then pulled the track out. Here's the old track. I got two studs that I gotta get out yet. Couldn't get out. It was spinning on the Allen bolt, so gonna have to get that down. But the track's in good shape. No rips, no tears. It's rip saw, inch and a quarter. We'll make somebody a good track. Gonna get rid of that, and then sled's all ready to go into storage, and I'm going to pull out the donor sled that has the track that we want to put on this. So next step is take this up north and then bring the other sled down and get the track swap.